And I'm going to say it one more time. We're Georgia Southern. And you ain't seen nothing yet.
Wings up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern!
The Eagles have done it! They're national champions!
It's good! It is well with my soul!
Is college football not the best thing on earth?
You want to talk about crazy? This is done!
One more time for the greatest team in America.
Eagle Nation, it's great to see you again. Welcome to a very special California edition of Inside Georgia Southern Football from Oxnard here on ESPN+. We're going to take a look back at this past week's season opener against Fresno State and look ahead to this Saturday's battle against the USC Trojans from the LA Memorial Coliseum. It's a 7:30 Eastern kick. We'll be live at 5:30 on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Coach, we're now in the throes of this 9-day California trip. It's very unique how we're having to do this. One game under your belt, and I know it wasn't what you expected, but you got a chance to play 61 guys during that game. 17 made their Georgia Southern debut, so at the very least, experience was gained.
Yeah, definitely. And we knew that this would be a kind of great training course for us. When you have such a tough a conference schedule ahead of you on the road, that this California trip was going to be a great test for us. And facing adversity just allows you to grow as a football team, to walk into a hostile environment like Fresno, and that stadium and the environment that they produced was great for our football team. There were some successes, there were some failures. Started out with how you have to play a road game with a half of football where we protected the football, had great third down efficiency, put points on the board, and you go in at halftime up 14-13. Unfortunately, we did not stay consistent in that in the second half.
We've spoken a number of times about the level of maturity that this team has. You called this in 31 years of coaching, maybe the most mature team that you've ever dealt with, and you needed to be that way after falling behind 10-0, but it felt like you were getting the little victories along the way. The third down stop, the 2 tackles for loss on that first drive, and then the score started with JC hitting those back-to-back touchdown passes.
Yeah, definitely. I called the guys up when it went 10-0 and said, hey guys, we just took the first punch. We said that, hey, this would be in a hostile environment. You're on the road. You're going to have to take these punches and then respond, and they did. They come back with a nice long drive where we were really good on third down efficiency, and then put up 2 scores to go up 14-13 at half. Produced 3 turnovers in that first half, and so we were doing the things that were needed in one of those ugly road games that you got to find a way to win. Unfortunately, that consistency of third down efficiency didn't happen in the second half.
Once you got down, it seemed like the play that got things at least a little bit in rhythm. It was a 3rd down and 11. JC hooks up with Marcus Sanders for 18, and then later that drive, Camden Brown has the 18-yard touchdown catch. That ends up being our offensive play of the game. I love the motion with Josh Dowse. It looked like it confused their secondary.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the few times where we got some man coverage on Cam, and a great call by Coach Applin. It was one of their tendencies in that down and distance in that area of the field that we felt like we could get a man matchup. We created a little bit of discomfort for him with the motion and stacking Cam and Josh, and you saw the confusion between the 2 DBs. Created great leverage for Cam to be able to win a one-on-one opportunity and get his first touchdown as an Eagle.
And one of those debuting Eagles, Brandon Tyson, forces the first of those 3 straight turnovers. Outstanding interception with Warner rolling away from his arm strength. That ensuing drive points off the turnovers. River Helms, his first receiving score as an Eagle to put you ahead.
Yeah, definitely. A great concept by Coach Applin of being able to set up kind of a rub off play action, and so happy for River. Such going to be such a great player as an Eagle, and to get his first touchdown, have 2 newcomers that had success on other teams to come here and have continued success was nice.
Those next 2 Fresno drives, they get inside your 5-yard line, but MJ Stroud shoots through, knocks the ball loose. Tremendous play by him. Davion Rhodes recovers. He was your number 0 last Saturday, and Chance Gamble just doing Chance Gamble things with that interception inside the 5 as well.
Yeah, those 2 really big turnovers for us, especially deep in the red zone. They had made a nice drive, and then MJ makes a huge play of being able to put a hat on the football and us to be a recover, and then Chance does what he does. In being able, we knew they were a better run team that they showed against Kansas, then we knew that was Coach Ince's identity. And so they had done some things where we needed to put some corners on islands, and there's chance, he's comfortable in that situation, and he makes a huge play.
After falling behind 10-0, Georgia Southern rallied to lead 14-13 at the break this past Saturday at Fresno. We'll take a look at the second half and look ahead to this Saturday's game against USC at the LA Memorial Coliseum when we come back on Inside Georgia Southern Football.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
As children, we wanted to build something amazing. Maybe a huge tower for heroes. Our imaginations soared. At Georgia Southern University, that spirit stays alive in our students. We chase our curiosities. We think big and achieve more than we ever dreamed. Beyond goals, beyond limits. Georgia Southern University. Soar beyond.
When it's time to light it up. When you need the power to perform. When every spotlight is on you. We bring Eagle Nation to life.
When you step into Paulson Stadium, walk through the football locker room, or stroll through the Hall of Fame, what you see is more than just space. It's a story. At Whitfield Signs, we bring those stories to life. From iconic athletic branding to elegant collegiate displays, Whitfield Signs can craft striking custom signage to help elevate your brand. Whitfield Signs, official sign provider of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Welcome back to Inside Georgia Southern Football. We're going to talk about the second half against Fresno State this segment. A little bit later on, Whitney Haworth will have some time with linebacker Brandon Tyson talking about his first interception in the blue and white. Had 8 tackles during this 42-14 loss to Fresno, but you did lead at the break, Coach. And in the locker room, when you're on the road, 36,000 people, many of which are not Eagle fans, and that's just the fact that you're this far away from home. But what's the conversation like about trying to keep moving things forward?
Yeah, definitely. I knew coming into the game that because of the venue, because of the atmosphere, and because of their football team, that they were going to respond. It was going to be one of those, it felt like Nevada all over again last year, coming out west, and you were just in one of those, ugly, hard-fought games that you got to find a way to win. And we were finding those ways. We create the 3 turnovers in the first half. We find a way with some backed-up situations to make some long drives, to go 4 of 6 on third down and keep those drives going, and you find yourself up at halftime. And I said, hey guys, it's going to be the same in the second half. We have to consistently be able to do this, be able to continue to get field stops by our defense, and offensively, I really felt that we needed to be able to do a little bit better job of first and second down efficiency to try to set up some third and shorts rather than third and longs that we had made. Unfortunately, that did not happen.
42-14, the final score as the Eagles fall to Fresno State in the season opener. And we have mentioned time and time again that this was going to be a 9-day stay in the state of California, getting into Oxnard earlier this week, currently staying where the Dallas Cowboys have their training facility. And you're in a different world when you walk in the lobby of the hotel and there's those jerseys of the blue and white of the Dallas Cowboys. You get a feeling what happens here during every training camp. And now you're having your team getting a chance to take a part in this.
Yeah, what an unbelievable experience for our kids. Some of them, this is first time on a plane, let alone coming to California, having a chance to play at Fresno State, now being in Oxnard, a great city that has welcomed us with open arms, to be at the Dallas Cowboys training facility. What a great experience, college experience. I can't thank Dr. Marrero and Chris Davis enough for allowing this to happen. Plus, what it saves on your body, not having to make that long trip back and then come back out there. That's going to save us not only for this game coming up, but for future games also. So we feel an immense amount of gratitude having the chance to be here.
How do you make a place home that isn't your home for 5 days?
Well, we talked a little bit about it last night as a team. In every season there's adversity, and we hit some adversity, in game one. But what an unbelievable opportunity to be all bonded together for a week and be on top of each other. Not in your different, not in Statesboro and in your different apartments and things like that. But we're in one complex all together. Going through this and being a football family, preparing for our next opportunity, which is USC. And so it's kind of timely right now to see the guys eating, all sitting down, eating together, hanging out together, practicing together. It's what was needed at this point in time.
You hear teams use the phrase, well, we're on the road, we're all we got. It's literally just us wherever you're going. And when you have that mature team, but so many experienced guys, third, fourth, fifth year in this program, not just college football period, but here at Georgia Southern, that's got to make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Just to have the maturity of knowing guys will trust the process and be pros with this process, to be in the city of Oxnard. I want them to have the opportunity not only to practice, we're doing school right now, but have the opportunity to, if they want to go, take a look at the ocean, they can go down and look at the ocean. If they want an In-N-Out burger, they can go get an In-N-Out burger. So, we're treating it like it's Statesboro, Georgia, that to be able to be a student athlete. And they're working their butts off. I'm appreciative for them. They got a sense of urgency about them, and we look forward to this preparation this week for USC.
We will turn the page to those USC Trojans in our next segment. We may have a couple things to talk about with Coach about that. This is Inside Georgia Southern Football.
This is Paul Newman, owner and broker of Statesboro Real Estate. I have been in the business over 20 years and completed well over 1,000 transactions, helping buyers, sellers, and investors navigate the home buying process. One of the things that sets us apart is our tie to the university. I'm the official real estate agent of Georgia Southern Athletics. With our team of experienced brokers and agents and our online presence, we can help you navigate any deal. Along with Statesboro Real Estate, I'm the co-owner of PMG Rentals, where we manage over 1,300 properties, improving the lives of investors and tenants since 2009. Whether you're looking to rent, buy, or sell, make sure you call Paul.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by never settling. But what's really made Ford F-Series #1 is you.
The Window World family is more than just windows and doors. From our daily efforts supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to find cures and save children's lives, to our ongoing commitment to serve active military and their families and America's veterans, to honor those who fought and who served to keep this great nation safe. At Window World, great service is not only taking care of our customers, it's about serving our community. Window World of coastal Georgia and South Carolina. Please join us.
As children, we wanted to build something amazing. Maybe a huge tower for heroes. Our imaginations soared. At Georgia Southern University, that spirit stays alive in our students. We chase our curiosities. We think big and achieve more than we ever dreamed. Beyond goals, beyond limits. Georgia Southern University. Soar beyond.
Welcome back to Inside Georgia Southern Football, our final segment with Coach Helton as we take a look at those USC Trojans. They are 1-0 in the 2025 season after defeating Missouri State this past weekend. Georgia Southern coming in after that 42-14 loss against Fresno State. Coach, before we get to the personal side of this, the team that Coach Riley has put together this year, I know that you've known about him for a long time, an elite offensive mind. A lot of the conversation about them is what are they going to be like in 26? It's rumored they have the top recruiting class in the country, but early returns for 25 is that this might be a team to be reckoned with too.
Yeah, they're a different football team than they were last year. You can see the new additions, especially on the defensive side of the football. I think their defensive front and just watching the early scouting against them is special. You could see the havoc they caused last week against Missouri State. I think their back end is stronger this year. They're leaning on that back end a lot. They can mix in not only man coverages but zone coverages. They hide them extremely well. And then you're dealing with one of the best offensive minds in the history of the game. And Coach Riley, he just walks out in the first game and puts 73 points on the board. So I really feel in watching last year's cut-ups compared to what I saw last week, this is a different football team. It's a better personnel football team. And anytime that you have a consistency of leadership now going into another year under the same defensive coordinator and, Coach Riley on the offensive side, they've got an opportunity to be a special team this year.
When you examine someone like Lincoln Riley that knows how to get guys but also knows how to get the most out of them, he was one of the early proponents of get your best athletes in space. They've got Jacoby Lane, they've got Mekhi Lemon, they've got a slew of running backs. Jaden Mayava was 15 of 18 against Missouri State. How more mindful do you have to be about how you put your guys in the position to stop them?
Yeah, it's hard to stop them. He is a brilliant offensive mind. In my career, I've had the opportunities to be around the Lane Kiffins and the Steve Sarkisians, and Coach Riley is just like them. They coach the game from such a high level and have such a brilliant offensive mind that they find your weakest link and they go attack it. And so you have to be able to, in my mind, be able to hide some of those weak links and be able to help out in different times, try to confuse a little bit. But he is one of the more brilliant people that you'll see in college football. He's done it for a long time. He knows how to put points on the board. And you hope that, I don't know if you can stop him. I don't think it's hard to truly stop a Lincoln Riley offense, but you got to slow him down enough to be able to try to put more points on the board than they got.
Yeah, this game's been on the books for several years. But this is a place where you spent 12 years of your life. Yes, you were a football coach for the USC Trojans. You were the OC. You were the head coach for 6 years. But your family became whole out here, and now they're going to be whole again this week, and you're going to have everybody back together.
Yeah, it's a special moment for us as a family. My oldest son lives in Southern California. My daughter's coming from Washington, D.C. to be a part of the game. I remember Turner, who was in the locker room with Matt Barkley and Cody Kessler and Sam Darnold as a youngster, and now he's going to walk into the Coliseum in an Eagle uniform, and that makes me have goosebumps right now. So, anytime you're at a place for 12 years, the relationships that you build, the gratitude that you have for being a part of a family, the Trojan family. I have immense gratitude and great memories, great experience there, and looking forward to having my family have the opportunity and the honor to walk back into the Coliseum, such a unbelievable place of history. And so we look forward to the opportunity. I can't wait to take the kids and to be a part of that, to allow them to see it, such a place of history. A place that has had World Series, has had Super Bowls, Olympics. The Pope has blessed Mass there. The President has addressed the nation there. We're going to get to see it on Friday, and then we're going to get to go compete on Saturday. So I'm so excited for them as a team to be able to do it, and I'm excited personally as a family to be able to have my three children together and to be able to hug some people that took great care of my family for 12 years out here.
It's something different because I'm glad you brought that up. The walkthrough on Friday is something that a lot of teams haven't done in past years, but getting to show your guys this historic venue, and some have called it the greatest stadium in the world. It's got roughly 100,000 seats. They've got the peristyle at the other end of the field. We're going to light the torch before the fourth quarter, just to get an idea of what that is like the day before. How much more of a benefit can that be instead of walking in Saturday and trying to soak it in that much more quickly?
Yeah, definitely. I watched teams, being the coordinator there and the head coach there, their first time walking in, and there's a shock and awe.
Yeah.
And you would see it on the team's faces if that was their first time coming in, and it was an advantage, to us. And so it was something that I wanted for our team, to be able to step on the ground, to be able to see it and get that shock and awe out of the way, so you can go play on Saturday.
There's a lot of people that are going to want to see you this weekend because you may not have seen people in quite a few years. There is a football game at the end of this week. We know that. So how do you balance catching up with people that you haven't seen in a while, but trying to guide your team into a situation like this?
Yeah, I think one is being here in Oxnard for the week, being away from it. I think it's great for our players, it's great for our coaches, it's great for me to be away from that. Then we'll go down to Los Angeles. I'll hug some folks on Friday night that have been near and dear to me. But then Saturday's game day, and we're routine-based creatures, and we stay in routine. We've got a game to play and an opportunity to go play one of the better teams in the country. So it's about doing your job on that day.
It's a 7:30 Eastern kickoff on Saturday. We're live at 5:30 from the Coliseum. Coach, this is going to be a really special thing for this program, and I know for you personally, happy to be having a part of this with you. Looking forward to a great weekend.
Thanks, Danny. Hail Southern.
We'll be back with this week's Eagle Zone segment after this on Inside Georgia Southern Football.
As children, we wanted to build something amazing. Maybe a huge tower for heroes. Our imaginations soared. At Georgia Southern University, that spirit stays alive in our students. We chase our curiosities. We think big and achieve more than we ever dreamed. Beyond goals, beyond limits. Georgia Southern University. Soar beyond.
When it's time to light it up. When you need the power to perform. When every spotlight is on you. We bring Eagle Nation to life.
When you step into Paulson Stadium, walk through the football locker room, or stroll through the Hall of Fame, what you see is more than just space. It's a story. At Whitfield Signs, we bring those stories to life. From iconic athletic branding to elegant collegiate displays, Whitfield Signs can craft striking custom signage to help elevate your brand. Whitfield Signs, official sign provider of Georgia Southern Athletics.
The Window World family is more than just windows and doors. From our daily efforts supporting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to find cures and save children's lives, to our ongoing commitment to serve active military and their families and America's veterans, to honor those who fought and who served to keep this great nation safe. At Window World, great service is not only taking care of our customers, it's about serving our community. Window World of Coastal Georgia and South Carolina. Please join us.
Welcome back to Inside Georgia Southern Football. Pleased to be joined by Redshirt Junior Tyson. Brandon, it's been great getting to know you since you arrived on campus in January. Here we are in Oxnard, California, ahead of the Southern Cal game. But let's just talk about what it's been like to be in Statesboro. What has it been like?
It's been very fun. My time here so far has been nothing but a blessing. I'm very appreciative of this community, this football team, and the coaches, and just everybody involved in the staff. Is real family around here.
You are a product of the transfer portal, and I always like to say sometimes the transfer portal will giveth and sometimes it taketh. You came in and you knew what kind of shoes you had to fill, and you have been a leader ever since. How special has it been to be known as a leader despite not being here but for a few months?
It's very special to me, and I think that's just a showing of the type of coaching that I've had my whole career throughout my high school coaches and just throughout the way my mom raised me and my family and everybody that's got me here so far.
We'll talk about how raising people up and coaching people up is so important to you in a minute, but let's talk just for a moment a little bit about ball. Of course, we're coming off of the game against Fresno State, an interception in that first half by you. How neat was it to kind of get that, honestly, one, just on the stat sheet, of course, but two, just to get it also off your back and off your shoulders?
It felt real good, and the first game is usually your worst game, so I look forward to the rest of the games.
And of course, Coach Helton always says when a turnover like that happens, you better deliver the ball directly to him, which you did. How neat was that?
That was real fun, especially seeing his face and everybody on the sideline. That was real fun.
Now, we are here, like I mentioned, in Oxnard, California, at the Dallas Cowboys practice facility. You'll be on these fields Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Behind us, you can tell where the bleachers have been. Signage has been taken down from their preseason camp, but how neat is it to be on these grounds where professionals practice and get ready for their season?
It's a blessing just to be out here in general, and I'm just taking it all in one day at a time, and real appreciative to be out here.
As we talk so much about on the field stuff, let's also talk about off the field. After your playing days, whenever that may be, you've told me how you want to really help coach others up just as they've coached you, whether it's on the field or off, and particularly in those lifestyle off the field elements. So tell me a little bit more about that and your goals with that.
Well, after I get done playing football, I plan to open my own facility up. I want it to be kind of a mentorship to young men, help build them, especially in my area and where I'm from in Whiteville. It's just a lot of undeveloped things and kind of aspects of life that you miss, especially not growing up without a father figure and stuff like that. So I want to be that filling space for young men.
Well, that is certainly a great thing to do. Cannot wait to see what's to come in the future after your playing days. No doubt a mentor on this team, Brandon. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. Have a great week out here in Oxnard, and let's go get it in LA on Saturday. Danny, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Whitney. Great stuff last week from Brandon Tyson. 8 tackles, his first pick in the blue and white. He'll lead that defense into the LA Memorial Coliseum this Saturday night. First ever matchup between the Georgia Southern Eagles and the USC Trojans. Network airtime is 5:30. We will be live at 7:30 Eastern from Los Angeles to wrap up this 9-day California trip. Eagle Nation, we appreciate you tuning in, and we will talk to you next week on Inside Georgia Southern Football.